Lisa Goddard joins us now in Brisbane. Michael Kroger joins us in Melbourne. Hello to you both. Now, Michael, I'll start with you. Every day there is some think piece somewhere in the great spin of the Australian media that basically runs the narrative of people over a certain age, baby boomers have never had it better, got their feet up, spending lots of money, and it's their kids and grandkids that end up getting affected here. Again, we'll show you some of these that are coming up right now. Now, there's people, I think Ross Garnaut came out today and said, it's harder to be young now than it was back then, all the rest of it, right? But what do you think about the politics of this? Because, many people watching us right now will be in that group that supposedly are the evil ones that are ruining the country. Well, hang on. Aren't they also the ones who did a lot of work, who've taken care of their parents, who were literally their primary carers before their parents passed away? They're the ones who went without, so their kids, Generation X, was able to have their life. I hate this stuff. What do you think when you read it, and do you think there's a political element to this as opposed to sort of looking and dissecting a financial problem?
Over what age are we talking about, by the way, Paul?
Well, this is the baby boomer.
That probably includes people like me,
Probably.
I think. So I just wanted to be, clarify that, mate. So, what you're saying is right. Of course, people make sacrifices. But I think the other point I'd make is this, that COVID has taught older people not to waste time. We're not getting any younger. Life is very short. If you've made decisions and you won't change those decisions, you're stuck with them and may not be for too much longer. So, life can end very, very abruptly. And so I think a lot of older people, because of COVID, are thinking, well, we've seen the shocking deaths of so many people during the pandemic, heart disease, etc. Could happen to anybody. So I think people of an older generation are probably spending up because, the sands of time, mate, are passing through the hourglass.
But also, Lisa, they're allowed to. This is what I find so frustrating about all of this. Yeah. They're allowed to, right? I won't divulge the personal circumstances of my parents, but, geez, they were involved in the care of their parents. My stepdad the same, like the idea that basically, how good's this? We've inherited mum and dad's house and all that, but it's just rubbish. It's rubbish.
Exactly. And firstly, Paul, thank you for sending that to Michael's way instead of me first. Not
you're forever 21, my love.
All, Michael,
forever
anyway.
21.
Exactly. Anyway. And look, I absolutely agree. I know how hard my parents have worked, for example. And look, they certainly aren't out there living the high life at all. They've owned their home. They've worked hard to get to that point. But, if you have got the money there, Michael's right, you go out and enjoy it and spend it. And look, the young people today need to learn that they need to knuckle down a bit and not have the dream home that's going to be in the inner city. They have to accept that they're going to have to live in the outer suburbs. And I'm sorry, if your older parents want to go out and enjoy their life, do it. Because on the flip side of this is a reality that the largest sector of this society that's finding themselves homeless are women over the age of 55.
Correct.
They're the sorts of surveys that we should be looking at, not the ones that are saying, here are these people who have worked hard and tut, they're out there enjoying their life and spending money on travel, and the young people can't afford their avocado on toast.
Well, again, let alone the divorced bloke who worked way longer than he was supposed. I mean, so when this generation just gets all put in one basket, as demographics speak to, geez, it's insulting to people. So anyway, I think it's worth talking about. Now, surprise, surprise, but apparently there's a cost of transition when you move from one source of energy to another. Michael, I was shocked by this. The CSIRO, of course, put a price on nuclear energy. Well, the CSIRO also put a price on renewable energy, and the price on renewable energy was $1.4 trillion. Oh, but now that's been halved to only $500 billion. The politics here. Peter Dutton is teasing out elements of this. In his budget and reply speech, if anyone was actually paying attention to the detail about this subject, he said the locations for these things will be existing power plants, all right? The idea that one's coming to a suburb near you is garbage, right? The plan is, if there used to be a coal-fired power station and maybe there'll be a giant battery gets the biscuit, and then that's what's going to go in. So people who've always lived next to a power plant will be the ones that potentially would be living next to a new form of it. But don't you love the lefties? Now cost of transition matters, Michael.
Mate, by the way, wouldn't you love it if Dutton announced one was going to one of the teal seats?
I'll settle for a wind farm on North or South Head.
He won't do that, but anyway. Look, mate, I just can't help thinking this whole renewal debate is just like running into a fog still. I mean, every day where there's potential blackouts, there are not. We've got, the energy market regulator warning about power shortages, et cetera. We've got Bowen spending a fortune. The coal-fired power stations are evil, but no, we need them. We need more gas. No, we don't. We're living off the back of revenues from coal and liquid natural gas exports and iron ore exports. We've got all the major OECD countries in the world going nuclear, but no, it's a terrible thing. Oh, OK, but we're having nuclear subs, but nuclear power is terrible. I mean, it's just all a fog, this debate. And I think the average person, their head is spinning, particularly when Albo promises big savings off your energy bill. It's easy, $275. I know you're not. I think people are looking for some kind of clarity. Bowen just puts everyone's head into a spin. Dutton's got sort of some clarity about what he's saying. He seems to have a roadmap to go forward, which he's releasing piecemeal. And look, mate, I'm not the fan of the CSIRO that I was 20 or 30 years ago, since they predicted 15 or so years ago that we're all going to run out of water in all the major cities. They seem to have taken the alarmist view on global warming, and they've just damaged their credibility in recent years. They're not who they were. So Dutton's giving us some clarity. I'm not sure Obo is, and I think every time Chris Bowen gets before a microphone in his very excited manner, he turns people off, mate.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. Lisa, can I talk about the she said thing in and around the Queensland Parliament this week? Again, you could not have seen a more offended person have an internal smile than Fentiman. And then the shadow in turning around and saying, hey, stop the pylon, brings up her history, all right? It's not a great day for everyone, but still. Does it not give you an insight into how, frankly, politically craven I think the Labor Party is in Queensland here, where they're going, great, we don't have to talk about hospitals, let's talk about how mean the shadow health minister is.
Yeah, you've got hospital ramping sitting at about, last time I checked, 45.5%. But what they're making a deal out of now is trying to get Twitter followers or ex-followers and Instagram and Facebook shares pushed out there to take a swipe at the opposition. So I think, look, Ros Bates said and clarified it, that she said cross your legs. Obviously, the government said it was something very different, which wasn't appropriate. It's just mucky. It's just murky. And the Speaker of the House made a very good point where he said that you now have these content creators who are after good copy, and that's exactly what this has come down to. It's clickbait. They're using the floor of Parliament for clickbait, and that's what we've come down to now, while you've got pregnant women around this state in regional areas unable to get to a hospital. So I just, look, if you think I looked at that and went, you know what, if you're sitting in a pub out in regional Queensland somewhere and someone spoke about someone being close to giving birth, you may very well hear them say, well, they better cross their legs before they can get to a regional hospital.
Correct. So, look, yeah, normal people say things that the polite world doesn't actually talk about anymore, and that's certainly what clearly was being said in that moment. Now, I'm going to get to winners and losers because I've got a sense, Michael, who your winner and loser is going to be, and your loser is going to maybe take a little time to explain. Who do you think is your winner and loser this week?
No, you got that wrong. The winner tonight is the person in Adelaide.
Yes.
Who's collected the whole $150 million in Powerball. One winner. Unless we've got an Adelaide address, mate, it ain't us. So congratulations to that person. On winning that. And I'd have to say the loser of the week, Rishi Sunak, the British Prime Minister. That was just a train wreck of an interview. And if I saw all your stats before, and if you can sum up Sunak in one stat, there was a poll published showing have they done a good job or a bad job in immigration, right? Typical core Conservative issue. 8% thought he was doing a good job. 84% said he was not. Rishi Sunak is down with Stephen Miles in the category of where, remember Steve Carell, that famous point in the movie of over the stock market crash, he said zero.
Margin call.
Zero. And that's, no, not margin call, the Big Short.
Big Short.
He said zero. Remember, he was at that conference in Las Vegas. Rishi Sunak is with your friend Stephen Miles down in the category of zero chance of being re-elected.
I am with you. All right, Lisa, winner or loser?
We shall see. Winner is the lady that was in the media yesterday who went from living in a tent in this city into a house because of the Salvation Army. And I think every other person at the Salvation Army is out there trying to put a roof over their heads while the government, like you say, focuses on Twitter fights and cheap social media shots. And the loser, well, Paul, it was going to be the fact that, and I thought it'd be parochial, in Queensland there's now a church taking the 4X brewery to court over a decision that is going to try and stop them expanding the brewery and creating more drinks apart from the beer. But after listening to your editorial, I think the loser is every small business owner who's going to have a staff member say, I want a puzzle table and a Lego table, please.
To deal with my stress. I'll go seriously. Thank you guys. Do appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend. Love you guys and we'll see you again next week.